Did you smoke today? Have you yet put something on your stomach? Did the snack kick in already? If not, get ready, cause it's coming. Did you smoke today? Have you yet put something on?
What is up, you guys? It's your girl Shantrice Bonita, and today I'm coming to you with another video. This is going to be way different than what I'm usually doing. Of course, I usually do makeup and I talk, chat, whatever. And yeah, this is kind of sort of on the chat side, but it's going to be a tad bit different than what I do normally. So, as you can see, I got a new addition back there. I'll make sure I put a circle around it so y'all know which one I'm talking about. Don't mind that wig on my bed. Y'all seen my room before, so whatever. Y'all see my paintings back there. But yeah, that's my new addition up there. I'll make sure I circle it to see, make sure you guys see it. So today what I want to talk about is a true crime story. Now, I got this idea from some other YouTubers that I really like to watch. And Bailey, I can't really pronounce her last name, but she does makeup and mystery. I'm not going to be doing makeup, but I am going to come back with a follow-up makeup video because I'm bored today and really don't have nothing else to do. So I'm just like, okay, well, let's just make videos, because I said whenever I'd have time for, spare time to do things, I would make YouTube videos. So that's what I'm going to do today. So today I want to talk about first it's going to be the topic at hand. And what we're talking about is the movie. We're not talking about the movie, but this movie is basically about the story that I want to talk to you guys about. But it's this movie called No One Would Tell. And I'll make sure I have the picture up. Yeah. It was called No One Would Tell. It was a Lifetime movie, and it starred Fred Savage and Candace Cameron. And it was literally about two high school students who, grew attracted to each other, went out on a couple of dates, and then started dating. And it really ended badly. I'm not a really good storyteller. I don't really have moments where I could tell stories, so I thought I'd just test it out right here on YouTube, and you guys just tell me how I do. I am going to be reading the information about the actual victims, so yeah. But yes, the story was really about two students, high school students, who started going out with each other. And at first it started off as a really good relationship, how all relationships do. And then, of course, once you're in the time frame where you've been with that person, you've gotten used to this person, and then they start to show you more of themselves, then it kind of gets kind of rocky. You teeter-totter and stuff like that. So, well, it will be sometimes where the guy would be really aggressive with the girl and vice versa. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty much how the movie went. And I'm pretty sure you guys have seen it on a Lifetime. Like, if you are a true Lifetime movie watcher, you know that movie from front to back. And they also did a follow-up movie in 2018, I think. They called it No One Would Tell, and it's starring Shannon Doherty. She was on 90210 and Charmed. Yeah, I like her, by the way, but I know a lot of people in the business don't like her, but she's really strong fighting breast cancer. She's been fighting, I think she's at stage 4, and she's still fighting, and she's still acting. So big ups to you, Shannon. So let's get to the real people in this equation, in this situation. So the real people in this story, I'm gonna do the female first. The female, her name was Amy Carnevale. Amy Carnevale. She was a beautiful 14-year-old girl in the 10th grade, I think. I think she was in the 10th grade. And she was a cheerleader. And she had fallen for this guy whose name was Jamie Fuller. He was a jock and they both went to Beverly High School. And it says, according to court documents, however, Carnevale and Fuller had an intense, troubled romantic relationship for 2 years preceding the killing. So I'm like, 2 years. She's 14, he's 16, and I'm like, people really did fall in love back then so intensely, like, because me, of course, when I grew up, when I was in school, I don't call myself falling in love for anybody, but it was just a little crush. And of course, you got jealous when you saw that person you liked with another person, and you're like, oh my God, he doesn't like me. But I was a shy person, and I did come out of my shell in eighth grade. But in seventh and sixth, I was pretty much shy. I didn't want to talk to guys, but I was that type of person that would get a little frazzled when I saw the person that I liked talking to another girl. But that person didn't know I liked them, so why should I get mad, But it's middle school and high school, okay? And see, they're teenagers, and well, I never really believed that teenagers fall in love with each other, but it is some scenarios in which they do, obviously. So let's get back to the story. Okay. So, I'm not really full out on the story. I do know that, let's see. Because really, when they talk about the story, they talk about the killings and stuff like that. But, let's just pause and get some more information. Okay, so I really wanted to find information on them in their personal lives before they found each other. So Amy Carnevale was a great, rambunctious girl. She was very sweet and down to earth. She made good grades in school. She was the all-around girl next door who every guy wanted if they wanted a good girl and have a good relationship with. And I won't say she was naive, but in that situation over time, she became very naive because, of course, when you're getting into a relationship with somebody, you're getting to know somebody, you don't really know what you're getting into, and it doesn't necessarily make you naive, but over time, when you see these things developing about this person that you may or may not like, and you feel confused as to why this person is acting that way, and you choose to stay and deal with it, then you become a little bit naive to the situation. But honestly, she had a great childhood. She had a great home, great family. Really all around girl next door. She was a good girl. That's all I have to say about her, because it's really nothing negative to say. I'm not saying that I was looking for negative information, but of course you want to know if I could say, but it didn't really give me any information whether her parents were divorced or not, because in the movie it shows that her mother was a single mother and was raising her daughter. But I don't want to give you guys false information, so if I didn't find any, I can't really necessarily tell you. So, next, Jamie Fuller. So, Jamie Fuller had the complete opposite. Jamie Fuller had a turbulent childhood. His mother also endured domestic abuse, and they were financially challenged in a lot of ways. And, well, I guess you could say the mother, I think his mother raised him as well. So I don't know if the father was in the picture when this happened. It says when Jamie was arrested for his crime, his father, who left the family years before, came back into his life while before disappearing for good. Wow. And it says court records indicate Jamie Fuller often saw men strike his mother violently. As a child, Jamie Fuller was a frail, quiet student. So, according to a teacher, smarter and more focused on his studies. His classmates say over the summer, Jamie grew taller, gained weight, developed his muscles, and hung with the tough crowd called the posse. The tables had turned. Instead of fearing for others, they feared him. Ooh. So basically, his childhood and him growing over time developed this person who became a bully. Point blank period. I mean, that's what that results into with any child who has dealt with that type of childhood and turbulence in their life. Like, well, I'm gonna find my place in school and find out who I am, and then, as I read, it said he got bigger. And of course, he was on the wrestling team. He got bigger. Of course, when you get bigger, you know you have certain advantages over certain people who are smaller than you. And also who you think are weaklings. And which is sad, but they always go at the smallest person and attack. So let's get back to his story. Yes, it says, and he was hanging around a tough crowd, so that wasn't any better with them being in his head talking about, oh, you can do this and you can do that, you can have anything you want, and you can just take it because you're the big guy, and they can do whatever the hell you tell them to do. You can make them do whatever you want them to do. So it says what people noticed were his eyes. They said he had the coldest, meanest eyes they've ever seen. One news journalist who was in court during the murder trial was jotting down a description of Jamie's clothing for his article. The Boston Globe, when a weird feeling came over him. When he raised his head, Jamie Fuller was staring straight through him. His piercing eyes frightened him so much, the reporter put the pen down and didn't take a single note the rest of the day. Wow. And it says also, before Jamie Fuller killed Amy, he was arrested twice in 1990 for assault and battery with a dangerous weapon. He was placed on probation for a second offense, and it is believed the assault and battery charges stem from a domestic abuse altercation with a previous girlfriend. Wow. That is crazy. And you're telling me Amy didn't know? Wow. That's sad. It's sad because I feel like I don't know what happened back then, but he has a charge. I'm pretty sure somebody knew about this charge, and how could they not tell Amy? Or maybe somebody did tell her and she just was like, well, he's a kind-hearted person and I like him and I love him, and maybe she looked past that. I understand you can't really hold people's past against them, but this recently happened. And it confuses me because, like, you see the storyline for the movie, no one would tell. And I'm like thinking, well, how much more information could people have kept from Amy about this guy? Trying to protect him because he's cool and he's with the in crowd and they may be scared of him. You never know. You really, really never know. It just shocks me that he had a previous record before that. Of course, they didn't mention that in the movie, but like I said, I'm reading this information from Google and wherever else I could get research from about Jamie. And let's get back to it. So it says, the prosecution painted a picture of how Jamie's life played out months before the murder. He drank Canadian mist whiskey day and night. He lifted weights and he took steroids. Before school, a classmate, he said, stopped by the store for a soft drink and replaced the drink with more whiskey. He flew into rags, threatened to kill himself, crashed his room, and destroyed property. His own mother was afraid of him at times. No, I think she was always afraid of him. On the day of Amy Carnevale's murder, Celeste Fuller banned Jamie to his room. She later made a fatal decision to let him leave the house. Within hours, was thrown from a pier. It's really sad because it's just really sad. To me, it's just awful. Okay, I'm sorry to pause. I'm just trying to get my information together. So let's get back to Amy. Because of course it's gonna officially talk about, you know. Okay, so Amy Carnevale was born April 13th, 1977, and she died August the 23rd, 1991. Such a short life, a very, very, very short life. And it saddens me. This girl was only 14 years old. 14. I'm still thinking in my head, how in the world do you develop feelings of love like that at that age? I mean, I was just thinking about, at that age, I was thinking about what activity I wanted to do in high school. Did I want to do art? Did I want to do band? Did I want to play a sport? I mean, that's what most teenagers think about, but some have their minds on relationships and boys. Of course, it's normal, but I just feel like maybe she wanted a relationship. She wanted to be loved by somebody. But then again, maybe she was forced to stay in the relationship when it progressed. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know, because like reading what I read about Jamie, even if, well, me, I could tell by a person's demeanor if I don't want to be around them or not. And maybe she couldn't sense that. But even, and I'll show you guys pictures. Like, even in pictures, this guy looks evil. He has the evil look in his eyes. And it's like you even heard it when I was reading about the reporter who was jotting everything down in the courtroom, and he looked over at him and he was like, this cold feeling of fear just shot through this man, and he don't even know, Jamie don't even know him, and he don't know Jamie. All he knows is what he did. And of course, that would, that would send up a red flag, because this man just killed a 14-year-old girl. This teenage boy just killed a teenage 14-year-old girl, and I'm like, whoa. And that's not even half of the story. Like, I have more to tell you guys. Okay. So, of course, I've given you bits and pieces. I'm telling the story the best way I can. And, wanted to tell you a little bit about Amy, a little bit about Jamie. Now, as we have discussed, that Jamie Fuller had a very turbulent childhood, and he witnessed domestic abuse in his home. And honestly, when he progressed in school and got older and bigger, he probably started to take that stuff out on his mother. Okay, he was beating his mama. I know he was. Ain't no way y'all gonna tell me he's not. And the sad part about it, and the person I blame the most is the mother. Yeah. Yes, I feel bad that she was domestically abused. But at the same time, if your child is showing these signs, you should get them help. You can't let them run around going willy-nilly, bullying people at school, number one, beating on girls that he's been in a relationship with. He has already had an assault charge from a previous girlfriend he had, assaulting her. And he ultimately, if that girl had stayed or had not pressed charges on him, he would have ultimately killed her. It's like, it's the cycle. It goes on and on and on in a circle until you stop it. So, basically, she let him go out and do what the hell he want. It's her fault. Y'all can disagree with me if you want to. She may have been a broken woman, but at the end of the day, if your child is sending off signals just like his father, and he's being domestically defiant towards you, and he's hitting you, you need to do something about that. He is a 16-year-old child. He is still a child. You are his mother. You have to say whether you can take him to a center and have him committed. It would have been easier because this girl would still be alive today. And I feel like, and it really, with all realness, it is a lot of situations that need to come to light and need to be talked about. And that's the first one I wanted to talk about, because I feel like it is a lot of situations of that same caliber that happen all over the world, no matter where you are. Even in third world countries, it's going on. Even worse. So, if you are a parent and you have a child and they are showing ways that could be fatal and deadly, get them help right away. You don't want them to inflict that harm on you or anybody else that they're dealing with, because you don't know how they're going to react. You can say, "Oh, he's my child. He never hurt me." I like doing research. I can give you research on plenty of mysteries and murder, crime stories of children that have killed their parents. So don't even think like that. When you see these signs, get help. Get them help. Okay? Push aside your feelings of, "Oh, he's my son. I couldn't do that to him." Get him help. Because you never know, you might be the next one with your throat slashed in your bed while you're sleeping. So, yeah, that's one situation I wanted to talk about amongst people. It happens to all over the world. We have to stop that. We have to raise awareness of that. When kids witness domestic violence, they ultimately start doing it themselves. Of course, their brains are like sponges. They do monkey see, monkey do. When they see these things, they're going to do them too. They're like, "Okay, well, my daddy hit my mama. It's okay for me to do it too. It's okay for me to talk to her like she ain't shit." Okay, so moving on. Let's get to the murder. So really, I don't really pretty much don't have to read anything about that, because really after I read it, I could never forget it. I could never forget it because it's it's sad. Because yeah, let's just get to it. So leading up to it, when the relationship progressed between Amy and Jamie, um, things got a little weird, of course. Of course, he was beating on her whenever he'd see her doing something that he felt she had no business doing, like talking to other guys or maybe keeping him waiting or simple stuff. He would beat her for it. So at one point, I think she said it was over, called it quits, didn't want to be with him anymore, and just didn't want to deal with the hoo ha anymore. Now, it was times that she went back to him, and that was before they broke up officially. But, I guess when you love someone, you try to give them a second chance. But, three times a charm. I think the third time was enough. And she was like, fuck this shit. I'm not finna have this dude beating my head in all the time. But, so, on that day, August 23rd, 1991, he lured her away. I guess it was supposed to be a couple of friends that he was with. But even before that, skip back, rewind, when they were in school, even when they were together, he'd say he'd kill Amy. That was a red flag right there. You guys have heard this. I don't care if you're talking amongst friends and you think he's just joking. He has said he would kill her if he saw her with another guy, or if she made him mad. Like, it was one situation where they had broken up and he saw her having fun with her friends and all that stuff, and he was like, I'm gonna kill her, I'm gonna kill her. So of course he lured her away as if he wanted to talk, and like I said, it was a few friends that was there with him. Yeah. Sad. It was a few friends that was there with him. I think they were somewhere else around the lake where they couldn't see him kill her, but let's just go ahead. He walked off from them. They walked off to talk. So after that, I don't know exactly what was said. Maybe he was trying to get back with her, or he was just trying to go ahead and kill her. But what he did was he first stabbed her, I think. It was said that he slit her throat when she kept going. And then, just to make sure that she was dead, he stomped her in the head. When I read that, all I could think was that was the devil. That was a demon-possessed child who would obligatously say he'd kill someone, and then he finally does it. But not only this, he slits her throat, he stabs her, and he stomps her in the head to make sure she's dead. What kind of fucked up shit is that? He was a fucked up motherfucker, and nobody did anything about it. They knew this girl's life was in danger, and they didn't do a motherfucking thing. It pisses me off. It pisses me off because y'all saw all these signs. What he said. Anybody could have did anything. Went to the police. Saved this girl's life. The mama, first off, is at fault for this shit. Because she knew. She knew that he was dangerous. Those kids at school knew he was dangerous. The friends that was out there at the fucking lake with him knew he was dangerous. And when she walked off with him, they knew something was going to happen. So, after all this had happened, he got a couple of friends to help him get rid of the body. A couple of friends to help him get rid of the body. Are you fucking serious? So, they wrapped her up in plastic, taped her up, tied rabbit rope around her, and tied him up against some cinder blocks and dropped her in the lake. It's crazy. I don't know. Me, let's just say if I was in that situation, if I was in her situation and he wanted to talk to me, I wouldn't have gone anywhere with him. Because basically, you knew how dangerous he was, number one. But I'm different. If I know how dangerous a person is and he's physically harmed me multiple times, I'm not going to want to be seen with him. I'm not going to want to be around him. If I am around him, I want somebody with me. I'm not going to go off nowhere with him because he may ultimately try to kill me and harm me again. I wish Amy had followed that notion to not go with him and stay where she was. I wish, because that baby did not deserve to get killed like that. No. And what makes it worse is that all of this could have been stopped from the beginning by the mom, by Jamie's mom. It just saddens me because this whole situation could have been avoided. And of course, now she's gone and her parents have to grieve her. I don't care about Jamie's side of the family because I don't give a fuck. That's a murdering bastard. Piece of shit, piece of scum. I don't care how you put it. I don't care if any of his family members see this video. Of course, his mom is probably dead. I think she is. But first and foremost, I'm going to say this. She should have done something about this disturbing child. It is her fault. She is the one to blame. Okay? Of course, it's Jamie's fault for killing her, but it's the mother's fault. Because that's her child. That's her responsibility. And it was her responsibility to have his ass committed to a fucking mental clinic so he could have gotten some help. Okay, so let's get off of that. Let's get off of that because I'm really pissed. I knew I was gonna get pissed talking about this story because I feel like so many people could have said something to save this girl's life and they chose to do nothing. They chose to do nothing. Okay? So it's just crazy. So it says, and then he was arrested twice. Arrested twice for fucking assault. And nobody did anything. Okay, so I don't really know how long the trial went on. I'm pretty sure the trial didn't last long because, of course, they knew he killed Amy. I'm still pissed. And it says, a judge sentenced Jamie Fuller to life without parole, which was changed to life in later years. A public relations representative from the Massachusetts Department of Corrections told Tracy Curry Ray's past Friday that the information found on Vi is correct. Jamie, Jamie Fuller is still incarcerated. God damn it. He gonna be incarcerated for the rest of his life. A life for a life. That's how I see it. Okay. Let's get to the parents. It says Jamie Carnevale's mother, Cynthia Gill, aka Cynthia J. Cindy Gill, died on April 2nd, 2009 in Salem, Massachusetts. That same year, on December 15th, 2009, Jamie Fuller's mother, Celeste Fuller, also known as Celeste A. I don't know their last name. I'm just going to say Celeste A. Fuller, died at the age of 55 at Beverly Hospital in Beverly, Massachusetts. Celeste was a longtime employee of Flair Cleaners and the Beverly High School 1972 graduate. Those who knew her said she was rough around the edges, but mostly she was a cream puff. Both mothers died of heartbreak, friends say. Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. Now, me, I have sympathy. Yeah, but I can't have sympathy for his mama. No. I can't have sympathy for her for the reason that it's her fault and she chose to do nothing. Okay? Now, I know it was times that he was beating her ass too. And she did nothing about it. So, okay. You was even there for him when the trial went down. I'm sorry, but if my son had murdered somebody and I knew he was the fucking murderer, I wouldn't go. I wouldn't support him. Fuck that. Hell no. Because you know what? With me, that wouldn't happen. Because if I had saw them signs right away, I would have got some damn police down here. Take his ass to a mental hospital. I don't know what's going on with him, but he need to be fixed, okay? I don't want him to hurt nobody, and I damn sure don't want him to hurt me. But I have the utmost sympathy for Amy's mother because that shouldn't have happened. She lost her daughter in 1991. 14 years old. 14 years old for a senseless killing of somebody being jealous because she is happy. Because she not with him no more. Fuck nigga. Oof. Okay. So that was the story of Amy Carnevale and Jamie Fuller. I'm still fucking pissed off. Me, you know, when I tell these stories or read these stories, because this is my first time telling y'all a story, but when I read these stories, I automatically get mad again, like I was in the courtroom or I was in the school seeing her getting beat by him and stuff like that. But that was her story. And what I want to say on that note, last thing, I want to raise awareness to domestic abuse. If you are a person who is experiencing this domestic abuse, whether you are a woman or a man, please get out while you can. If there is a friend you can seek help from, call them, tell them. Because if a person loves you, he or she would not hit you, put their hands on you, or harm you in any type of way. even if they physically say something bad to you, with mental, physical, and damn it, mental, physical, and emotional. I'm like, it's there, but why the fuck is it not coming out? Because I've seen domestic relationships that was torn apart because somebody's words saying you ain't shit, you ain't this, you ain't that. That breaks a person down. You never know what a person is going through inside and what are they feeling about themselves. So don't do that. Don't do that. Leave. Don't stay there and put yourself through all that grief. Leave. If somebody's beating you up, beating you in the fucking head, leave. Get help. Please. I'm begging you to get help. If I had a hotline number, I would give it to you. I wish people could call me up personally and say, I need help. I'll send the police to your motherfucking house and have them get you to pack your shit and take you to a shelter somewhere so you can be away from him. Or get him out the fucking house and take him to jail. So you can get you some protection. Because the next time he put his hands on you, he or she, you shoot that motherfucker in the head. Now, I ain't all about violence, but at the end of the day, I'm going to defend myself. I'm going to defend myself. Because one thing about me, you only got one time to put your hands on me. And after that, that's it. That's it. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is also too, the whole reason why I did this video was to raise awareness for domestic abuse and child abuse. Because I'm pretty sure Jamie Fuller was abused by his daddy too. But, yeah, that's what I'm leaving it over there. He's a murdering bastard. Whatever. But, yeah, this is a way to raise awareness of child abuse. Yes, he may have had a hard life too. But, and I can say for his side. I'm not saying I'm playing both sides because I'm on Amy's side. Because at the end of the day, he was the one who killed her. But later on, I can ultimately say I'm on Jamie's side too, when he was a kid, okay, and had to deal with his father being in his life, probably seeing his mom being beat on, and he probably beat on him too, okay? So, if you are a child and you're experiencing child abuse, call 911. Even if your mama tells you not to do it, even if your daddy tells you not to do it, call 911. Tell the police everything, because you never know what can result into that. I have seen cases where the parents killed the children, or the dad killed all the kids and the mama, or the mama killed all the kids and the daddy. So, yeah, it's just to raise awareness for domestic abuse, child abuse, any type of abuse that you are experiencing. Okay? Good morning. Any type of abuse that you are experiencing. And on that note, also, if you see someone getting beat on publicly, even if you see it by mistake, tell somebody. You could save a life if you tell somebody. Okay? We have to do our part as human beings, okay? We can't just walk past that and be like, oh, I ain't seen shit. No, we can't. We can't do that. I refuse to do that. Because you never know. You might see a headline of that same person that you walked past saying that person is dead now. Found out all the time they were in an abusive relationship. Oh, you knew that because you saw her ass get hit. You saw his ass get hit. So, on that note, I hope you guys enjoyed this story. My storytelling skills. I mean, I don't think it's a skill, but yeah. It is what it is. I just wanted to tell you guys the story to raise awareness. And for you guys who did not know that this was an actual real story that happened, if you get a chance to go on Lifetime or YouTube or any type of streaming, TV streaming website, watch either the new version or the old version. The old version was made in 1996 and the new version was made in 2018. It depends on how modern you are. Me personally, I prefer the 1996 one because I love Candace Cameran. I love Fred Savage. Of course, y'all remember Candace Cameran from Full House and Fred Savage from Wonder Years. So that's my heart. I'm gonna see both of them acting a movie together. I'm like, oh my god, oh my god. So yeah, that is all. Thank you guys for just sitting and chatting with me. And may Amy Carnevale rest in peace. I hope she's up there with the angels in heaven having a good time. And yes, so that was me, Chantrice Bonita. All my Bonita viewers, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe this video. And for all, if you are new to this channel, please subscribe. Please bring whoever you think may like this channel. And yeah, I guess we're over and out. Love you guys. Bye.